All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Seven Figure Agency podcast, where we're interviewing highly successful digital marketing agencies from across the country on how they've grown, how they've scaled their agencies. Today, I'm super excited because we're joined by Travis Weathers from Rotate Digital, runs the top digital marketing agency in the moving space. Travis, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, excited to share as much value as possible and have some fun.
And I just want to point out for the viewers that are watching with us live on YouTube, that's not a fake background. You're actually in an airplane hangar right now.
I am. This is my baby right here. She's a Cherokee 6, 300 horsepower, and I finally got a hangar for her, which is exciting. And this is one of the cool things that the agency has allowed me to do. And ultimately, the aviation and flying is really what kind of got this agency started. And so, yeah, it's a fun background to have, and it has a lot of meaning to it.
I love it, man. Beautiful setup. Super cool that you've been able to do that. So for the listeners, just tell us a little bit about your agency, kind of where it sits today. How many clients? What's the approximate revenue? What's the lay of the land?
Yeah, happy to share. So we are a digital marketing agency. We're really specialized in SEO. So our main offering is websites and SEO, although we do PPC and everything else that an agency kind of needs to play around with. So that's kind of our core focus. We focus on the moving industry, which is what a wonderful, fun industry that is. So we focus on the moving industry. We have about 175 plus or minus clients, depending on how much we get in churn. Currently today across US and Canada, and we're doing about $5 million this year. We're at about a $410,000, $20,000 run rate right now. And it's been fun. I mean, that's kind of where we're at today, but it's come with its ups and downs. And just last week, I looked at I have a profit well, and it kind of shows you your MRR over time. It's like, it was up and down and up and down. You got these big pushes, and it's like, wow, that's a lot. But that's kind of where we're at today.
So good, man. Well, congratulations. Obviously, that like an amazing business you've built over the last couple of years. And I'm sure if you're listening, you're excited to hear kind of how Travis has done this. Drop a yes or a like wherever you happen to be watching this, whether live or after the fact. So that's where you're at today. Talk to us a little bit about the journey. How did you get into the digital marketing business in the first place?
Yeah. So I got a job overseas. We'll go a longer story shorter. I got a job overseas doing customer service. They needed some help with marketing, and I started like working on marketing and like learning that a little bit. Then I wanted to make more money. I was like, I could do this on my own. Went off on my own, miserably failed. I couldn't do anything. I was on my own by myself. I didn't have a 7-figure agency group to learn from, or I was just kind of go. So I failed. So I ended up getting a job selling Bible software and bought a course by Sam Ovens. And so the combination between learning how to sell and then Sam Ovens telling you exactly what to do to start an online business, really when that got married, that's kind of when it flourished. And so I was like, I want to sell something, but I want to sell it reoccurring. Somebody told me about SEO, and you could sell SEO. And I got into a SEO Facebook group, and I dove in. I learned everything I could. I went to the owners of the group and the admins. It's like, I'll sell for you. I'll white label to you. Like I'm trying to learn everything. And that's kind of how the process started evolving. Is I started selling, I white labeled, and ultimately all this was happening while I was going to flight school. I wanted to be a missionary pilot. I wanted to get my AMP certificate, become a commercial pilot, and I did all that, which is exciting. But the agency started to pay for all that schooling, and eventually through that process, I fell in love with business. I fell in love with everything about business, the impact business can make, and so I ended up changing my kind of career path. Instead of going commercial flying or overseas flying, we ended up deciding to just focus on the business and fly for fun. And so a good friend was like, you should just buy your own plane and fly for fun and not be away from your family. So that's what we did.
So good. Love that. I wonder how many of us started with some of the Sam Ovens training. Just drop Sam in the chat here. If you went through the SamOvensConsulting.com stuff, which it's just a great training,
Such a good training. He's the OG of online courses. And I just remember I was drinking LaCroix. I was doing everything he said just because I needed it and wanted it. Because I bought that course, I think it was $7,000 or $8,000, potentially $10,000 back in the day. And I think I maybe had $20,000 left in the bank account. So calling my wife and be like, oh, by the way, I bought a course, and I didn't tell her about it. I had to make it work, or else I think she would have murdered me if I didn't.
She would have been that. Yeah. And I think, that's a powerful lesson in and of itself. the investments that we make in our self-development, especially when it feels like a larger than it should be proportion, are the ones that tend to move us forward, right? Because you respect what you pay for, right? And if you had downloaded that same course for free online, you wouldn't have probably paid as much attention. You wouldn't have taken nearly as much action. Okay, so
every time, even your program, I was you know me, I was hesitant on the wall, and I was like, I don't know if it's worth it. Within 2 months of signing up, I was like, this is so worth it. I've gotten so much value out of this already. It's that investment into yourself and the business that's hard to do, but makes some of the biggest impact.
No doubt. Yeah. Thanks for saying that. All right. So selling Bible software, getting a pilot license, going through Sam Ovens training, just trying to get some money coming in, passive income on the side hustle deal. Talk to us about how you landed on the moving space. Like, why, of all of the niches to choose, why that? And kind of more importantly, like what was your selection criteria to get to that place?
So I did an analysis of the industries and where's the biggest opportunities. No, I wish I had a really good answer for that. I legitimately was like, Sam Ovens was like, you've got to pick a niche. And I remember getting on a webinar, training with him and sharing. And he's like, you love aviation, you should be in aviation. And I couldn't see that. But at the time I had like 4, 5, 6 clients, insurance, restaurant, moving company owner, medical, coding company, honey company, and they were all over the place. And he's like, you got to choose one niche to get in. And I had one moving company owner, and he was like, you did great for me. And I knew he would give me a testimonial, be willing to like talk to clients if I was on sales calls. And so it unfortunately wasn't this calculated move. It wasn't this strategic thing. It was blind, like, well, we've got to do something in this. It makes the most sense. I didn't know anything about it. In fact, I looked into the industry and went, there's already agencies there. There's already like a known person. Like I just looked at it and looked at all the objections and things that could go wrong. And I blindly chose the moving industry, knowing only that I could get a testimonial from my first client, which is Kyle Pearson. I get a testimonial from him. And so every sales call, I could be like, of course, yeah, here's a testimonial. Call him. I'm happy to refer you to that. And so it was just a blind choice of like, here's what it is. I've already got this. I know I can sell one more with this. Let's just go all in on moving.
There you go. Yeah. And sometimes it's not this deep technical analysis. Rarely is, right? Because there's no perfect niche. There's no data that would tell you, okay, this is the one I should do. Try and find the path of least resistance, like Travis just said, right? Where do I have some client wins already? Okay, I got a client here. It seems like we've done good work. Let's go down that track, right? And it kind of blossomed from there. So
and look at all the objections. Just note them, but don't let that like totally detain you. You'll never find an avenue that's like, oh, this is a golden pathway. Nobody's ever been here. It's like, just go and just execute on it. And when I started executing it, I was selling courses, by the way, because it was Sam Ovens. He's like, sell a course. So I was selling a course to moving companies when I barely knew digital marketing and I didn't even know the moving industry. That miserably failed. And I had people over and over going like, do you offer SEO? And I was like, no, we don't offer SEO. We offer a course. Do you offer SEO? No, we don't offer. And then one day I was just like, yeah, we do. We offer SEO. And they're like, how much? I was like, it's $1,000 a month. He's like, cool. How do I sign up? I was like, oh shoot, I gotta do this now.
So good. I love that. And yeah, that path, trying to sell to local businesses, the course play, lesson learned there, right? Done for you service is going to be more profitable out of the gates. Maybe once you got 100 clients, maybe at your level now, you could start to sell courses and masterminds in that same industry.
I feel like it's so much easier now. I've got so much knowledge of this moving industry. And it's all because I just decided to go all in on one service and just learn it, which is really powerful.
So good. So we got that one client really with the idea, like I've gotten great results. And that's, I think, a prerequisite in every industry when you try and go down into the niche. And I can use that as my case study to say, hey, look what I did for this client. Would you like me to do the same for you? So talk to us a little bit of how you parlayed that from one, roofing client to your next 5. It's kind of like, that's the hard move in a lot of cases.
Yeah. So I sold my first moving client SEO it was my very first. I sold a course to a guy named Nick in November, and he ended up signing up for SEO like 4 years later. December of 2018, I sold my first SEO service to a moving company owner. That was 2018. it really was a brute force into the industry. And so the only method I knew how to do was from Sam Ovens. And it was this method of get into a Facebook group, don't say anything, add people as friends on Facebook, and then message out to them. And don't make it complicated. Don't ask how they're doing. Just go, hey, my name is Travis. I help moving owners get more sales by leveraging Google. Do you need help with this? And just do that over and over and over again. Every day you wake up for 1 hour, you add 20 friends, you send out the messages, you do the follow-up. Like, that is your critical work, and you do not focus on anything else but that. And so that is ultimately how I went from then one, or how I got my first one, and then how I ultimately grew really to the snowball of getting that $1 million run rate was really just through these Facebook groups and through these direct messages. And I had a sales journal. I still have it to this day. And I would put every phone call, how long it took, who it was with, where did they come from, the recording of the call, and then I would journal my emotions, because you get on a call and you feel like an idiot sometimes after these calls, and you got to journal it out, any changes, and you go to the next one. And he said, and I still love this, do not change anything until you're done with 30 sales calls. And I personally would actually go 40. Don't change anything. Don't change your industry. Don't change anything. Get through 30 sales calls, learn the industry, take as much notes as you can. And so it really was the sales journal, and then getting into these Facebook groups, adding as friends, and playing that playbook literally for like 2 years to grow these clients. I think I got my 5th client by March. So like 3 or 4 months later, I think I was at my 4th or 5th client, and it snowballs.
So good. Yeah, I love this as you're sitting in your airplane hangar at $5 million in annual revenue, being able to look back and say, hey, I was like, this was my play, right? I joined these Facebook groups, I sent these DMs, I wrote down every single sales call, and that was the seed effort that grew to this Titan level agency. So that, I mean, that's kind of where we started. Obviously, you've got different strategies today. Like, what is it when you look at your client acquisition approach? What's working best to continue to grow the business and continue to land clients on clockwork?
Like today?
Yeah.
There's for us, it's not just one thing, but it is probably like the critical ones are probably 3 or 4 things. So the Facebook group from day one is still and consistently is one of our highest channels of acquisition for new clients. We get referred to. We have people that we still reach out to people. We get referred to. We engage in the industry on this Facebook group, and it gets probably one of the most referrals and consistent incomes is, oh, I saw you on the Facebook group. Oh, I typed in SEO on the Facebook group and I saw that you guys came up. So that is going to be one of them. The second one is conferences. That one for us right now, at least in a 18-month or less snapshot, conferences is a gold mine for us for 2 reasons. I try my very best to speak at every single conference. I am aggressive on my outreach. I'm aggressive on to the presidents. I speak at, in the moving industry, we don't have these amazing, huge trade conferences where it's like $25,000 to go. They're smaller. They're $5,000, $6,000 to go, and there's maybe 2 of them a year. So it's like, all right, well, we only have 2 conferences. Well, then what we did is we leaned into associations, and we call those conferences. And we've gone to almost every single one of these associations with a booth, but with the goal of speaking. And the beauty of it is you go there and it's like, I'm speaking to 30 people, and it's really disheartening. But because you're there on stage and you're like, and some of these people, like I joke, but like I've gone to conferences where I'm like, there's like 12 people in here. I don't know if they're going to live another year. Like, they're so old. Like, this is not my clientele. But you've got the 1 to 5 people who are looking at you going, you have been what I've been looking for. And so conferences for us right now is the second biggest channel of new acquisition costs of just, speak, conference list, following up, building that relationship. And I would say the third and final one still has to be referrals. And so we get a lot of referrals for our work. And so the wisdom I would say from that is, like, we have had to lean in, just like most agencies, extremely hard on the results that we provide. Like we are not in 2019 anymore, 2020 anymore, where you can kind of check the box and get away with it and everything's up to the right. You have to lean in. And so getting the good results and making that the number one focus, those are our 3 acquisition channels right now, I would say, the big ones.
So good. Love that. And so this idea, like getting in the industry, not just trying to hide behind your computer, being on Facebook groups, and sending DMs, but getting live and in person where your prospects are hanging out. In every vertical and every niche, these groups exist. right? So
Yeah.
find the opportunities to plug in, and don't just have the booth. Stage time is
Yeah.
money time. Like when you can be up at the front, like Travis said, even in a small group, and when you're at the front and you're educating and you're sharing value, that makes you magnetically attractive to the right
Yeah.
prospects, and they'll come to you and they'll be willing to pay a premium because they see you as the expert. They see you as the premium provider.
And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. First of all, if you asked me this 3 years ago, I'd be like, networking, who needs networking? Like, just provide results and value and it'll come. And I kind of still hate it. I hate that the who and the networking and the advocacy is so real. Like, don't be afraid to shake hands, get in front of people. I went to a conference in Hawaii that I wasn't even boothing at or speaking at. And the only reason, well, it's a business expense to Hawaii with my wife. That's reason number one. But
Yeah.
reason number two is I wanted to speak at the conference or that association. It was more of the coveted association.
Mm.
And so I went there literally just to shake hands with people and get face-to-face time. And 1 year later, I got to speak at that conference. And that conference or that association, when I spoke, is now our highest producing association. So it's like, that is powerful. And then I say 30 is like sad. I've gone to one where it was 8, where we had 8 people show up at a golf indie event. We signed 3 of the 8 clients up. Like, don't be the numbers don't matter. It's who's there and how much are they needing you.
Yeah. So good. I think such a powerful insight, because I think a lot of times when we think stage time, we're thinking at least 100, 200, 300 people in the room. And that's been my same experience in plumbing and HVAC, where, when I do speak, it's usually in one of the breakout rooms with 20 or 25 guys, right? And it does feel a little bit, I don't know, like that I just wasted an entire week of my life to do this, and a lot of time and energy. But that stage time, even in a small group, is super powerful.
I went to a New York conference. I'll stop with the stories. But I'm sharing all the sad ones, right? It's
No,
like,
this is great. This is great. Very, very practical.
it's the reality. I flew out to New York. 4 days away from the family. I'd already been traveling for a little bit. Went to this conference in New York, again, association. There was probably 45 people there. 40 of them were vendors. 5 probably actually moving companies. The disheartening reality of like, what am I here for?
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking and it looks cool, but I know there's only 5 and like 2 of them are 95 years old. Like, this is a joke. The worst part, we signed somebody up for $5,000 a month from that conference. Like, one person is like, well, that was worth it. And so you just never know. So it's like that, just that leaning into like the action and just trying to like not to get discouraged too quickly.
So good. Yeah. And actually with the group strategy, you actually shared this at our last intensive. You did a whole session on kind of like the strategy behind finding the groups, making sure you fly underneath the radar, connecting with new prospects, sending DMs. Lots of good feedback from the members that went through that. And what's great is that strategy, is originally it was Sam Ovens really unpacked that well, but it still works in today's environment when you do it today. And I think you've got some cool, innovations that you brought to that process.
Yeah. In fact, I actually had like 5 or 6 people reach out, go, thank you so much. That was so tactical. I'm going to take action on that. And 2 of them reached out since the conference and gone, I've sold my first person from this. Like, this doesn't take long. Like, how long was the conference? Like 3 weeks ago?
It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
And they're selling new clients, like money, cash in the bank from this exact process. It really is so powerful.
So good. And then the last thing that you said is not to be overlooked is that it becomes a flywheel. If you get clients and you get them great results and you help them understand the value of the results that you get, that one client should be able to bring you 2, 3 other clients in the future. But you can't just sell the client and just focus on the next. You've got to put the systems, procedure in the team to make sure that client gets an amazing world-class result. And then each client should generate more referrals and more growth as the company expands.
Probably one of the hardest things for me to do is because I am a sales acquisition kind of like it's more fun for me than focus on client results, because client results take so much time and I can sell somebody new within a week. And again, going back, one of my biggest regrets, like my $1 million mistake, is I really do wish I had gone heavier into client results and client retention than I really did. I think I could have had an extra $200,000 run rate if I really focused. Now, again, what ifs, you never know, but like ultimately, like I can see so many clients that's like, they needed more time. Yeah, we could have sold them better. But it was like, we could have just really leaned into the results and we were kind of just checking the box for a solid 12 months in that business time frame. And it really bit us. And we're really handling the effects of that today. And so 100% agree on the world-class experience is so real and so powerful. And it's easy to overlook because it's like, well, I already have that revenue. It's like, well, look down 12 months from now, you can still have that revenue.
Right. So good. So great insights there on how you've kind of grown from hey, maybe I should do the moving niche to a $5 million agency serving that
Just
industry.
speaking on stages, I would have never believed it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the follow-up question here from Achal, and actually this is where we're headed next, is let's talk a little bit about the service offering. What does the program look like? What is it that you're selling these moving companies? What are the deliverables?
Yeah. So I'll share my experience. That kind of is new for us. We used to always have packages like these, bronze, silver, gold packages, and they worked great. They were perfect. And really for us, we were really heavily focused on SEO. I personally, as a business model, love SEO. I love the retention. I love the longevity. Prospects are already trained to think long term about SEO, and it's your highest margin. It may not be your highest percent margin, but it's your highest gross margin, usually with digital marketing services.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love SEO. That's our kind of core critical focus. Like we sell PPC, and our PPC margins are good, but like $750, $1,000 a month. Like, okay, maybe I'm making a margin of $600 a month off that, but I can sell a $5,000 a month, SEO package and make a margin of 4,000 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say all that to go. Our service offering is SEO website core with PPC add-on, and PPC being Google Ads or Google LSA. Really, that's it. We don't offer. There's a really good CRM in our industry. Really don't offer Go High Level as a CRM. We don't offer social media management as a CRM. And so I know that part of that is against the grain, and part of that is just the reality of like, I don't know if I'm good enough business owner to like handle all that and do it with world-class excellence. And so it's like, dive into the most needle moving things. Well, I've been asked to do a social media post for 4 years now, and I still haven't done that. I think we sold our first client on that to experience like what that is like and the risks that come with that. So that's our service offering. What has transitioned for us in the last 12 months that we have found, at least in our niche, in our business, to be really helpful is we have moved to a little bit more of a a la carte option. And when I say that, we're still talking about framework packages, but within them, we're now going, okay, there's a base package for your brand. And then we can almost open up the menu and go, how aggressive do you want to be on these three? You may have 3 Google business profiles. How aggressive do you want to be on each one of these? This one looks like it's already getting good results. We could either do nothing on that one because it'll come with the brand, or we can be like conservative on that one. It'll cost $720 a month or whatever it is. I don't know the pricing. Or like this one needs a lot of work. Let's go aggressive on this. And that we get to show them on the call, and that then allows them to pick where they want to go. And they almost feel like they're not getting forced into a plan. They kind of choose their own. How aggressive do you want to be on content? How aggressive do you want to be here? Now, our base plan and our sales is all about going, how do we meet your budget with your results and refine that? You may want to be the biggest company in Texas, but your budget doesn't allow for that right now. So let's start somewhere. And it's that conversation of budget versus what you can spend versus expectations. And that has actually proven really well. The main reason why it's done really well for us is people are actually willing to spend a lot more than our packages were set up. Our packages were set up at 15, 2,500, 4,000. And I think we technically had a 5,000 we never sold. And our average package ended up being like $2,000 a month. Over the last 12 months, we've increased that to average new package of $4,000 a month with website and SEO. And it really was just letting them choose the route they want to go and going, what's your budget for this? Here's how we can craft a good service. So we still have base framework packages, but we really are kind of a la carte, letting them kind of choose their path forward on the pricing.
I love that. Very, very cool. So what's the base, like the base package that it starts at?
I think it's $2,000 a month is the base package that it starts at. 2,000 for like, and like, it's like don't you can sign up for this client.
We don't recommend it. You need this and this and this
but
too.
You're gonna need more. So yeah, exactly. That's kind of where it's at.
Very cool. Love that. And so, like at the heart of it, it's like, let's make sure we've got a website that's built to convert. Let's make sure that we've got the organic strategy to come up for the results. And then there's optionally, like if you want us to help drive more traffic with paid ads, retargeting, local service ads, we can help with all of that as well. But it's kind of plus, plus, plus on top of the base.
A little bit. I would say, again, maybe it's encouragement or maybe it's like, hey, step up. Like, we don't even offer retargeting ads for our clients. Like,
Okay.
so there is so much more we can offer, which I think is the exciting opportunity.
Mhm.
It really is kind of a choose your own path through SEO is really
Got it.
it. And then it's like, okay, what are you spending on PPC? Here's our base packages. We have a startup fee for $1,500 a month, or sorry, $1,500 of the first month. And
Mhm.
that's going to pay for a lot of the website, the startup. We have some tracking now with AI and marketing data that we can combine. The whole normal startup. I hate calling it a startup fee because nobody wants to pay a startup fee, but kind of that getting going process. But
Mhm.
yeah, it really still is that same core. You need a website that converts for sales, priority number one. Oh, by the way, it needs to be well built for Google to understand what you sell, and then SEO. So nothing goes away from that. It's still very much forcing them into that framework foundational um, package that we ultimately want, with the customization of going, now that we got that website, now we're going to go that process. Now we understand your goals. How much do you want to spend? What's your budget? Where we want to go? And here's how we can price that out.
Super good. Love it. With being SEO at the core, search engine optimization, with AI and generative search, on the horizon and kind of things changing. How are you seeing that in your marketplace today, and where do you think that's going to go over the next couple years?
Yeah, so I'll share my insight, my opinion personally. My opinion personally on all of it is AI is cool. It's coming up. We are seeing more and more clients get leads from ChatGPT and
Mm.
Claude and whatever the other ones
Perplexity, et
are.
cetera, right?
We've yeah. So and we're tracking that and it's growing. And so it's like we did our AI webinar that you helped us do with what you offer, and we got that and put our own little twist on that and did the AI webinar. Surprisingly, our lowest attended webinar,
Interesting.
but our highest converting when it comes to after sales. So
Okay.
it was really interesting. The people that are intrigued with that are they're more aggressive, I guess you could say, with AI. So what I see with AI is going to be, AI is changing the game, but ultimately the game is still the same. The game is, we have to create revenue for our clients. We have to create visibility with whatever the online real estate is. Now, if that is ChatGPT, if that is, Google Glasses that we're eventually going to have to figure out, like, our job is purely revenue generation. And so
Mhm.
that's what we really need to focus on. And so I'm not too scared with AI. Right now, we all get the benefits of AI with it, cost savings. I'm not too scared right now for AI. I think it's like, yeah, we just have to be open and really on the forefront of like what needs to change and adapt in order to continue the process of creating new revenue for our clients. That's the end goal. We are a revenue generating generation, company for our clients.
100%. Could not agree more. And with that lens, there's tons of opportunity in whatever niche any of us happen to serve. Right? We're just got to figure out how to help our clients grow and keep them exposed. So
Mhm.
no doubt at all. So we understand now kind of what the service offering is. We know what the niche is and kind of how you're selling it. Let's talk about the delivery side of the equation. What does the team structure look like? How do you serve that many clients at scale?
Yeah, great question. So right now our structure is, we have a director of operations that oversees pretty much all of fulfillment, and then under that we have kind of the website team, the SEO team, the PPC team, our outbound team for like link building. I know some of you guys don't do links. We still build links and do guest posts, so we have a whole team for that. We have a backlink team to do backlinks more manually, because we just find that it's all the small stuff that creates the bigger wins in the future. And so we have those fulfillment teams. So that's how the teams are structured. Each team has a most important number that they drive, that when that number, when that one and most important number gets better, it increases the value above that, increases the value of the organization. So that's roughly the structure. Everyone is overseas. We mainly hire in Eastern Europe area, although we have plenty of people that are coming from, we have people in Africa, we have people in Philippines, and kind of all over the ad hoc, but roughly mostly Eastern European. And then when it comes to like our biggest thing for SEO fulfillment, it is sales. Sales finds and brings on new customers. They are basically, they are held accountable for the first 90 days of the client. And by held accountable, it just means if the client is a bad sell, if it's a bad client, if the team's like, this is not a good sell and we need to get rid of them for the health of our company, as sales doesn't get that commission. So they're in charge of that. The moment sales is done selling the client, ultimately they're off to another. That's all their job is, to bring on new clients. Then our CSM team takes over. And so what happens is we have our pod or our SEO team, and they're built into pods. We have a pod leader over each pod. I think we have 3 or 4 pods. They have a group of clients. Each SEO person has their own clients. The SEO pod leader has a small select amount of clients and then helps focus the results and holds their team accountable to the results of their clients, which we are tracking when it comes to local Falcon results, Ahref results, SEO results. And so that's the structure, and it's very much then this dynamic between the CSM and the client and the SEO team, and kind of going back and forth. Our pod team doesn't go on client calls unless the client really wants. Although our SEO team, I think they'd be great account managers. They love their clients so much and they own them so much. So I think that's most of the structure when it comes to fulfillment. Very much is much of assembly line as possible. We have processes that everyone follows, but the way we look at it is, here's core processes that's like, we know this works. You must execute this and execute it with excellence. And then you've got your what you're really paid for, your consultative, that's not a word, but your expertise. It's like the things that we just are different for every client that we can't standardize an SOP. That's where that conversation between the pod lead and the SEO person and the head of SEO all kind of come into play on that. So that's the structure of the fulfillment team for the most part.
So good. Love that. So international team, all virtual, but really dialed in structure, really dialed in SOPs, getting work done consistently. Any insights?
Fully part of the team.
Yeah, I was going to say, any insights on how you build a team culture and kind of the like teamwork aspect of that?
Yeah. They are treated as if they are here in person, although we don't have too many people here in my per se office in person. They are treated as a full team member. And so what that includes is they get PTO and they get time off. They are on our all hands calls and our meetings. They're held accountable just like everyone else is held accountable. A year and a half or 2 years ago, we did a retreat with the leadership team, and we flew out and brought everybody that were overseas into one city, and we hung out for like 3 days. And so those are the things, like, I know that in our group of niche of people that we are around, we treat people overseas normal and with like a human being with respect. But there are a lot of companies who treat them as, you're just cheap labor to me. That's it. That's all you are. And these people are, they're humans. They're freaking phenomenal. I love working with our overseas team. The hard part is, like, they're overseas. So we require them to be on till 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern time. And so they may do their work during the day, but they have to be available for meetings, Slack messages, emergency meetings, the whole gambit. So we require them to do that. The other thing we do is we profit share in our company. And so they fully participate in profit sharing. And so they're energized and driven to see results for the overall company. So we try to do everything we can to create a good culture. We don't have the fun. I would argue we don't have the fun culture where it's like we're doing Friday night where we're having whiskey together. We don't do that as much. Our culture is very driven on success, having fun, not keep taking ourselves seriously, but taking our work seriously. So that's the culture we're creating.
So good. Love that. I think the key thing there for you, if you're listening and you've got an international team, is you got to treat that international team member like a true team member, right? They shouldn't be on an island. They shouldn't just be getting Slack messages. Like, bring them into the team meetings. And you mentioned a couple times team, all hands meeting. Talk to us about the meeting rhythms within the company and how you guys, like, what's the pulse of that?
Yeah, so I share that when somebody starts at Rotate Digital, we have a welcome to Rotate Digital, and we talk about value creation, and we say, here's some of the ways that we create value in this organization. And some of them are just our meeting cadences. So as a company wide, we have an all hands team meeting. That meeting happens once a month. That's with everybody, and that's where we're going to go through the month, right? Birthdays, anniversaries, kudos, wins for different clients that we want to highlight. We will then go into lost clients, gained clients. We'll then go into, did we hit our profit share for the month? What was our profit? Did we hit it? Why or why not? What are the things that we see? And then the focus items, right? Here's where we're going. Here's the adjustment. Here's the change. Here's a concern of ours, right? The hoorah or the let's step up kind of conversation that happens once a month as an all hands. Then below that meeting, every department we try to cultivate, and again, it's still rolling on, still being cultivated, you can call them a level 10 type meeting. Like we call them mind meetings, most important number, and the drivers that drive that. And that happens in each department on a monthly basis. And then we try to, then that trickles down to like, usually we have meetings one-on-one, depending with your like one-on-one direct report once a week to once every 2 weeks. And then we have a goal to have performance snapshots or performance capability checks where here's the list of capabilities we think you need to have in this company or in this role to succeed. And we check on that about every 2 to 3 months. We have a full-on meeting with them. We talk about what's been good, what's been bad. We put action items on how they can improve on that. And then we grade with a numeric value. And so that allows me then to start seeing different departments and that number value change over time and see where there's deficiencies. So that's, I would say, overall our meeting structure. And then we also have like a leadership meeting that we have every 2 weeks where we have 3 leaders, me included, come together and go, what's going on? What are the most important things? What do we need to realign with? And then we have a checkpoint day, which is basically every 6 months. So you'll see an end of the annual and then mid 6 year. And the checkpoint day is a 1 day for the leadership team right now, where we step away and we kind of look at where we've been. We celebrate wins, but then we go, do we need to adjust? Is this like a little shock meeting for us? Is this a celebration? And it's just, where are we at? Where are we going? What needs to be adjusted? What do we need to throw away and be done doing? And it just allows us 1 day in the middle of the year to kind of step back and go, all right, what's the bigger picture here? So those are probably the core meetings that we find create the most value in the organization.
Love it. Love it. So important, right? That you've got a meeting rhythm and there's a place for the team to come together and to be plugged in and to celebrate the wins, to address the issues. So many great insights and takeaways there. You mentioned profit sharing, and I think that's really interesting. Can you talk us big picture through kind of what brought you to the idea of, hey, I should profit share across this entire organization, and kind of how you structured that?
Yeah, that is very much of a personal journey and was a long journey. I think from the conception of should we profit share through the investigation, the talking to multiple people, the figuring out the 1,000 different ways you could profit share, that was like a 7-month journey before finally rolling it out. So, for the entire team, we profit share. The reason why I wanted to do it. Let's start with the reason why. I wanted to celebrate with the team, and I think I was just making it myself because we pay fair. We tell everybody we do our best, our very best. It's never going to be perfect, but to pay a fair, equitable wage in every role in every department, right? But there was part of it where it's like I wanted to celebrate wins, and it felt weird not to have the team know. It felt weird, like we celebrate wins, but I remember one of the guys on my leadership team now, and good friend, his name's Garrett. He said, as an A player, when I was not knowing what was working well in the company, and ultimately when the company was winning, it was like, cool, good for you guys. It really means nothing to me. There's not one single ounce of impact. And I sat with that. I just didn't like that. I was like, I want you to feel like, even if it's, $5 at the end of the month, I want you to be like, hey, it's something, because as we grow the value of the organization, we can grow this kind of profit share. And so I wanted that specifically. So we started sharing profit numbers and stuff with the leadership team. And then eventually we rolled out profit sharing to the entire company. And on a high level, and please, this is high level, there's obviously intricacies. The way we do profit sharing is we have a profit minimum goal. For us, it's a 20%. We've got to hit 20% for that month in order to share out a profit share. If we hit 20%, we take 10% of the profit and we share it proportionally to every single team member on the team, proportionally to their salary. And so the reality is we went through all the different ways you could do it. We love the salary because it's like our goal is to pay proportional, fair, equitable wages. based off the role, the value, all this stuff. So the salary made the most sense, right? If somebody was getting paid 5,000 versus 1,000, there's reasons, right? It could be your location, but if it's if it's the same role but different locations, well, that dollar amount is the same effect. It's like you could come to the US for that same job, but then you're going to have a totally different lifestyle. So we ended up choosing proportionally that. And then every month we take that 10% if we hit the goal and we share that out proportionally. And so some people are making, $50 a month extra, 100, 150. Some people are making 600. And what I like about that is then it's like we can come together, full transparency on the profit, the health of the company. And then it's like when people are like, I've already had it, which is the hard thing to hear. It's like, well, it's not a lot. It's like, it's not worth it. It's like, awesome. It isn't a lot. Like, we have some work to do. Like, the value of the organization can grow. Where I tell them, I'm in this Titan mastermind. I know people are having agencies bigger than ours, profiting more than we are right now. Like, we could double this in the next year. Like, how do we actually do that? So right now that profit share ends up being like if we can consistently hit it, like a 10% boost in everybody's salary. Like, that's phenomenal. So that's what we've done with profit sharing.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's true. Like, as the company grows and you're like, hey, we just hit a milestone, and you're celebrating, and they're kind of like,
I'm celebrating.
Hey, good for you. But it looks like you made a lot of money. They probably think it's more than it actually is.
Yeah. I see all my money's going to that plane over there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But when you bring them into that profit share, even if it's not like all, like it creates a team vibe, and we're all winning together. I love that. I think it's a beautiful
and
insight.
it creates really good conversations, because then whether they're happy or joyful or grateful or upset, it's like, cool. How do we do this better? What do you see in your role? Like, if you're CEO today, what do you are there? And slowly people are shifting to be like, I really want to win. And then people now are just like, we're so ready for the all hands meeting. We want to know how the company did, and like, are we going to get a profit share? Like, that's exciting, because that's ultimately how I am. How did the company end this month? Like, I want to get these books closed so I can be like, did we make money? How much profit? Like, can I go fly today? It's like, I want our team to do that as well. So it feels very transparent and fun and real.
Yeah. And I think it's important, if you're listening to like profit versus revenue, what's the difference? We'll base it on revenue. There's a big difference, right? The most important number in your company is not how much revenue there was, what the profit was. And so don't make the mistake of trying to do a share based on revenue growth. Make it on the actual net profitability in the organization. That way it's like there's a constraint, right? Like, we want to grow the company, but there has to be profitability. And that makes everybody think along those lines as well, which I think is another really good benefit.
Money that you take home, that's what you have to do it all off of. And even in our profit share, I'll lean into a couple more specifics. In our profit share, when we pay that out, that becomes an expense line item on the next month. So it's like, it really is truly like what the company is doing at the end. And then we do hold 25% of that profit share. We hold that to the end of the year, because we have to finish the year at 20%. And so it allows just some kind of tactical, actionable experience for every employee at the company and team member to go, I can't just create short-term value. I have to think about the long-term vision. And so we hold 25% towards the end of the year. So that's another kind of thing that we do in that.
So good. So many great insights and takeaways there. So let's talk a little bit about retention, right? At your size, 100 plus, you think 170 or so clients, like, not easy to keep everybody engaged, on board, sticking around long term. Talk to us about how you think about retention and some of the strategies you put in place.
Yeah. First, I drool over retention. And so it's like, I always want more retention. And so we believe retention is very holistic, but it does fall on the CSM department. The retention does fall on them. We look at them and we try to get them to be like, you're a mini CEO of your own book of business. Like, retention is on you. Of course, SEO results drive that, but we all know that clients can go away with SEO results for a long time. So it is experience. It is how well you communicate. And so we have put that retention mainly on the CSM department, knowing that just like everything else in the entire company, there's intricacies and it all comes together to help. And so that's a little bit of who's responsible for retention in our department. Everybody talks retention, and we all like to talk numbers, and we all like to throw numbers out. And you'll feel a little of the cold-hearted part or the hard-hearted part of me, where it's like everyone likes to throw numbers out. It's like, okay, what is retention? So when I speak about retention, what we talk about is we look at revenue retention, because especially as we grow this business and because we're young, it's like, I don't mind getting rid of $1,000 a month client that we've had for a while, if we then can upsell a really good client and have them spend $1,000 more. And so although I care about client retention, I really am curious about client revenue retention. And so when I say we're at X percent, that is really a revenue retention. And so the way we kind of focus on it is two buckets. One, it's revenue retention. And we have a current goal of like 5.5% per month, which really, if you think about it, kind of sucks. It's like that's almost 72% of your clients that are gone at the end of the year. Like that's not good. And so part of it is like, yeah, it's the reality. And so we're trying to ever drive that down more and more. And the ways that we look or track that is the other thing is we have upsells. And so we allow our team to go like, okay, you may churn out 3% retention, but you upsell some good clients, right? You might lose some bad clients, you upsell some good clients. And it's like, great, you're filling this bucket of revenue. And so that mitigates their retention that they're ultimately like held responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we look at retention. It's like keeping clients and it's revenue of clients because we are drastically changing the way our books look. And then it's upsell opportunities to upsell good clients and have them spend more and more. But it has to be strategic. We've done it where we've had a client doing $9,000 a month. We upsold them $6,000 a month more. We didn't really talk about budget. Next thing you know, it's too much money and we lose them all. And it's like, that sucks. So we have to be very strategic about retention. And so I think on average, we're about 5.5% of retention, revenue retention over the course of the year. And it's not good. And we want to get better at that. It relies on the CSM department. And I very much look at, all right, we're going to have some clients that leave. And it's like, okay, bye. Like, I'm not too sad, but I'm always looking at that client shouldn't have left. Why? And so one of the things we put in place now is just a full focus on ROI and revenue driving. We can talk about SEO results. We can talk about each one tags. We talk about local Falcon scans. We talk about lead snap snags. We can talk about all of it, right? And it's like, okay, but our clients basically have the common language of revenue, return on investment. Where was I at, where I'm at today, and where am I going? And so we are diving like our CSMs are required to like know the revenue of their clients, know where they were at before when it comes to Google revenue, know what that ROI looks like, good, bad, or ugly. Like it doesn't matter. Know so that we can improve and the client can see that and see that being improved. So we have seen that the heavy focus for us to help retention is coming into ROI revenue conversations.
So good. And it just kind of goes to show you, even at a world-class level, it's very hard to get much better than a 5% monthly churn. And so, don't beat yourself up. Like, if you're running an agency and you get a 6-7%, continue to focus on it, continue to improve, but don't let it bring you down. Right. I mean, like, just keep pressing forward, keep innovating, keep improving.
You're so kind. I'll be over here the bad cop. If you're a smaller agency though, and you're doing $80,000 a month, and you're losing 7-8% of your revenue each month, I personally would have a hard look at like what we're actually driving. Are we driving actually real results that make a change in this person's business? If not, I need to change my service, because you should be holding those clients more, because those should be more intimate clients, because you have smaller ability to be more intimate with them. So
yeah, good point. So talk to us a little bit about the CSM team. So I know it's a pod structure. Where do you find those people? How do you train those people? Let's just talk a little bit about that.
CSM team, I love the team, and it's like the hardest department because it feels like it's the most vague department too. It's like so they are so good right now. So where do we find them? How do we train them? They are all mainly U.S. based. We hired our first person from South Africa. Very excited for her. I think she's going to crush it. She starts next week. I'm excited for that. Really, this person was so good. It wasn't even that much of a cost savings for us. I just think she's going to be phenomenal. But there is some salary arbitrage that we were able to do, which is exciting and kind of a excitement for the efficiency of the department. We have found the clients that succeed really well have really good personalities and can engage with their clients really well. They have some kind of digital marketing background. And there's something about sales or customer retention that they have in their experience or the way they work that does really well. In terms of training's hard. There's so many processes, and we're always changing in this department because we're always trying to get better. But we kind of look at it like there's probably some like 3 core critical things you do as a CSM. Critical thing number 1, that 30-minute, 45-minute monthly call with your client. We need to nail that down right. What do we need what's our checklist? What do we need to get done beforehand during, and after. How do we go through that? Like, that is critical. Like, above all else, if you, I ask this on my interviews for CSMs. I say, if you were handcuffed, could not do anything else in your role but one critical activity, call, text, email, what would it be? And a good answer, in my opinion, is the monthly call. And it's like, great, I agree. Therefore, how do you get so good at that monthly call? What is in that monthly call that makes it so valuable? And that is what we focus on. So a critical function is training on how to do that call well. Part of the things that go into it is like, what are the results? Good, bad, or ugly? How do you then get ready to share all these different results? Where do you point them to? What are the wins? Then what is the revenue? Where's the ROI? We may be in the first 3-4 months. We need to talk about it, but it's going to be something that is not really needed to be a forefront conversation, where month 9, 10, 11, 12, very much of a forefront conversation. So we go through the critical things like the emailing, the conversation with the clients, how to look at reports. And that's kind of a little bit of the training.
Fantastic. Yeah. Love the, kind of the transition to international talent. Even though it's great to have US talent in those seats as well. We've also kind of, gotten a lot of people from South Africa, and it's worked really, really well for
Exciting.
us.
Yeah. It really is exciting in terms of the structure. Just for the things that, like, I forgot that people really care about. It's like we used to have our CSMs manage about 40 to 50 clients. That was a mistake. FYI.
Too many, right?
Too many. Now they're somewhere between 20 and 30 clients. Thank you, Josh, for that wise wisdom almost 12 months ago. So they're about 20 to 30 clients. They are right now, at least current snapshot. I'm not telling you it's good, bad, or ugly, but current snapshot, they're all running about $75,000 to $95,000 of revenue under management. Each one is what it ends up being for those 20 clients. And they are right now paid a base and then paid for upsells. I think we are transitioning to more of a commission plan structure, where it's like you're paid a smaller base, but then it's based off of how much revenue you have under contract. And then we ultimately have a head of the CSM department. We have a CSM lead that is helpful in kind of all of that. And then we have the CSMs, and we have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, hiring our 5th and 6th one with a head. So it'll be a department size around 7, with the hope of growth in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Travis, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Congratulations on growing it, $5 million and growing agency in the moving space. You've crafted an amazing life with the hangar and the plane and the whole 9 yards. If you had one piece of wisdom to wrap up today for that agency that's trying to get to the next level, that one little piece of wisdom, what would it be?
There's so many pieces of wisdom. I'm going to go a little less tactical, which I know and I'm happy to go with tactical wisdom after this, but I would say this, agency life is not easy. It's hard. It's demanding. It's up and down. People come to you thinking you're going to be the savior of their business. So I would just say the piece of wisdom is learn to have fun and struggle better. The struggle is part of the journey. So how do you struggle better? How do you struggle better where it's not as emotional, right? And you can then write down your emotions in a journal and then objectively look at it. How do you struggle better where it's like it feels like you need to give 18 hours a day? And it's like you might, but how do you struggle better so that you get to be at home with your family a little bit more? Not to create the lifestyle business. I don't see that being valuable in an agency space at least at our size, but to be, hey, I'm struggling through creating this business, creating value, helping our customers, getting a better business, but I'm struggling better because XYZ, because I get to be home with my family a little bit more, because I get to make dinner every night, or because I get to live the lifestyle I want, or because I take Fridays off. Like, don't be upset that it's hard. It's going to be hard. It sucks. Have fun while you do it. You have to be the person in your company that has the most fun and creates that fun experience and creates that fun culture, and struggle through this, but struggle better and look at the ways you can struggle better. I think that was a piece of advice I was given like 9 months ago when I was deep in depression of like, this sucks. And it was like, struggle better. Have fun while you do it. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Life is short. I've got to do that. So that'd be my high level, non-tactical wisdom piece.
I love it. Yeah, I think that was beautiful, right? Enjoy the journey, struggle better. Travis, if people wanted to connect with you or kind of get to know you better, what would be the best place to connect with you and go deeper?
Yeah, I love connecting. I love talking agency life. I think I've loved more of that in the last 12 months than ever before. So if you ever have questions about details, I'm really an open book. I've always tried to create those mentors like you and other people. And so probably the best way to get a hold of me is either Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger is probably the easiest and best way. At Travis Weathers for Instagram, and then Facebook, just type in Travis Weathers, look for the most handsome man. It's probably me.
Yeah.
And, and reach out to me and send me a message. If you add me as a friend, there's a lot of friend requests that have just sitting there. So just message me. And that's probably the best way.
Fantastic. Travis, thanks again for coming on and sharing. If you got value, be sure to drop a comment here below. Reach out and thank Travis for his abundance mentality, his willingness to come on and just share what's worked with him and how he's grown. So, Travis, thanks again. And for those of you that watched or listened, thanks for being here. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate it.